that's really exciting to try to tap into those kinds of dynamics. That's what you need to do here. You don't need any money for that, right? You need Facebook, you need Twitter, and you need the right kind of idea that resonates with people. That's really the trick. The right kind of idea, the right few beginning connections, and bang.
Tell them some more about Hamza. Remember we were talking 1 or 2 days ago, Hamza and Paul wanting to start, well, having to pay $90 a day,
Yeah.
every $90 a month for every of their 12 kids, and trying to connect the two orphanages 20 minutes away from each other.
Yeah. The orphanage that I'm working with in Uganda is paying $90 a month for every single one of their kids to go to school, and they have 12 kids. So what was it?
12 kids that they still can't afford. So
Okay. So 12 kids that they can't afford. So what's the total there?
it was like $13,000 that they're looking for.
Yeah, just to send like
For a
12.
year?
Yeah.
And we're saying
Wait,
ridiculous.
For a year or
Yeah.
a month? Because
A year.
okay. Well, then if you look at US, or if you just look at like somebody having a computer, like they can learn so much with like almost no cost at all.
I know.
You know, like of course.
You look at the hole in the wall experiments. Have you seen those?
Sukata Mitra.
Yeah.
Sugata
they've
Mitra?
seen them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does that cost? Almost
Well, and
nothing.
this Costa now is, I mean, that's why the connections are so huge, because Costa is actually doing that.
Yeah. So, I'm, like, right now I'm working on this whole thing to try and help them get funded, but, there's gotta be a better way than doing that. Like, there are way better ways. And they're talking about, getting involved with another orphanage for younger children that's around 20 minutes walking distance away from them. And then that orphanage has computers and stuff, so they're gonna try and do some connect, like, you help us, we help you type thing.
Where are they located?
Kampala.
It's another
All
connection
Uganda.
we had that's a very organized and well-supported orphanage for babies.
Yeah.
And so we knew that they knew each other kind of, but we didn't know they were 20 minutes away, so we're like, this is crazy. $13,000, we can try to get you the money, but why can't we do it better, you know?
Where is Kampala? What's the country is that?
Uganda.
Uganda, okay.
So I'm working on that whole thing, and then I'm also doing English in the lab, which is why, well, not why he's here, but I'm working with him on doing some English stuff, and then kind of running some stuff with Morgan, and then we've got the whole homeless project that we're doing. We're trying to work that into the lab.
They met with the mayor.
Yeah, we met with the mayor and talked about different reasons why people are homeless and how to like affect that.
And the high incidence of teens.
Yeah, like a lot of the big problems we've had with homeless people in Loveland are like a lot of teenagers that don't want to go, like you don't want to go to the police and be like, hey, I'm homeless, because then you get put through all this government stuff and like it's not worth them to get the help they need because they have to go through all this crap and like put in like foster care, whatever, or like
They'd rather sleep by the river than be in a place that they don't feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
is what they've said.
So it's a lot of the same issues with like how do we alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and say how do we fix the government, or like how do we adjust the situation to accompany the fact of what's like actually happening, and how do we fix the problems of why they don't want to take the help that we can offer them. It's a lot of the same problems with like the human trafficking thing. Like a lot of it is actually like government level stuff. Another thing I looked into this year is suicidal and mental disorder a little bit, mostly learning disorders, because when I was in like 3rd grade, like I finally got to a point where I like couldn't take public school anymore. I would like sit at my desk and like just cry because I didn't understand how to do what we were doing and I didn't want to bother. And turns out I had dysgraphia, but the only learning disorder anyone ever hears about is dyslexia. So I got labeled with dyslexia first, and then I got put in like reading classes, like special ed reading classes, and then I found out that I had dysgraphia, which is the opposite of dyslexia. Yeah, kind of. Like, you think, like, you see the right thing, and then mentally your hand writes it backwards. It's really interesting. There's a lot of different ones. Like, there's one for math, and that one is kind of like dyslexia, but the meanings of the symbols get switched up in your head, and the positioning of them, like, a line might get turned from, like, this to, like, that. So I looked into that a little bit. It's pretty much what I'm doing.
Well, what impresses me about what both of you are doing is you've chosen unsolvable problems, which is wonderful for several reasons, except that it's really frustrating to do. So you have to learn that. Basically, I'm in the same business. I also deal with unsolvable problems. That's one reason why I can make a living doing what I do, and people pay a lot for my ideas, because they've tried to solve the problem themselves, and they feel frustrated. They feel like they can't make enough progress, so they seek me out. And I've been working on this for 23 years, doing software testing, and I tell them, your frustration and your feeling stupid and all that is actually completely okay, because the problem cannot be solved, and they're so relieved. That's basically a big thing that I can do for people, is to make them feel okay with the fact that it's really, really hard to do what they're trying to do. Now, even though it's unsolvable, I don't mean to say you can't do anything about it. What I mean to say is it's like a chronic condition. It's like you might decide, I want to solve the problem that 1/3 of every person's life is wasted sleeping. I want to cure people of the disease of sleep. Like, oh, good luck with that. You know, you can't do that. What you have to do is cope with the fact that we need to eat. Cope with the fact that we need to sleep. We can manage that. We can try to do it better. We can try to, I don't know, live with the problem and feel good about it. Learn to enjoy sleeping. That's what